Oxford 821 here. We got our shipment. We've got 16 white oak trees, and I ordered these from the Arbor Foundation. They're supposedly 2 to 3 feet tall, and we're going to plant them in this corner of the yard right here. I already have some beech trees and some other white oaks that I already started years ago, and we're just going to fill up this corner with them and kind of spread them around to make it like a little wood patch in the back corner of the property. But I wanted to show everybody what it looks like when you order trees from the Arbor Foundation. First, they came in this box, 16 trees, white oaks, 1 forsythia, which is free, and 1 free red maple, but we're not even going to use those. But I opened it up. It came with some packaging here, and then all the trees are bundled up in this big plastic ball here with, I think this is like paper mache, all wet. So they're just bare root, but they're packed in this paper mache and all wound up with this string. So I'm going to spread them out where I want them, and they look small enough to where I could plant them with just a regular post hole digger, stick them in there, and I'm going to spread them around, and then we're going to cut this probably 18-inch sections and put them around the base of these so that the rabbits don't get them, hopefully the dogs, but I'll put cages around them like that too. These are little tiny beech trees that I planted as seedlings, and we're going to see if they came up. They might come up here within the next couple weeks, but we'll see. So let me get these started, and then I'll put the camera back on and show you how it looks.
Done.
All right, so I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I got my post hole, and I'm just pulling out the plug of the grass first. Setting that to the side. The trees aren't very big. They're kind of just like tap roots with some hair roots on them, so they don't spread out very far. And the oak trees' roots kind of go down when the tree's first starting, so you don't have to dig a really big hole, especially since the trees are only 2 to 3 feet. So I was looking at my post hole digger, and right about there is probably deep enough. So let me grab one of these trees. This looks like it's pretty nice. This tree, it's got a good root base on it, and some of these hair roots, and then the nice tap roots down here. But I can see they're a little bit crooked and bent, and as they grow, they'll straighten out. But you can see this one has 3 different main trunks here, and as it's growing, I'll probably cut some of them off to keep one main trunk so it doesn't end up breaking as it gets bigger. So always try to keep that one main trunk as it's growing. So you can see on this tree, it needs to go down about here where this last root is. You don't want to plant it deeper than that, and you don't want to plant it shallower. So hopefully my hole's deep enough so you can see the ground. So I need to go a little bit more for this one, because this is one of the bigger ones in the bunch. Let's see if that did it. Yeah. So that's the one. Now see that root, we want to save that one. So make sure that goes down in there. Make sure all those roots go down. And I just sprinkle my dirt, loosen it up so it don't fall in there in big clumps. And as it's going down in there, save your worms. If you see any worms, push them back in there. And I just get my fingers and I push down so that the dirt fills around all those roots, so you don't have an air pocket down there. So if you have an air pocket around those roots, it might dry out on you and die. So as you push your dirt in like this, get your fingers and work that dirt down in around those roots. And this section of our yard is the low end, so this ground usually does stay pretty moist back here, except for in the middle of the summer. Then it might dry out. Now after I get rid of all my dirt, here's my plug that I had, and there's a good worm. Keep him in there. Loosen up this dirt off of this grass. Use that dirt. And then what I was doing was ripping this like this, and then feeding that back around the tree. Look at that. And then just do your dance around your tree. And it looks like that one started there as an acorn. So we got a couple of these cut. So this is just drainage, and I split them. We're going to work it around this tree. And I put this on here just for the rabbits or me weed whacking, so I don't weed whack it. And then I'll put some cages and some stakes around it so that I don't hit it with the lawnmower. Now you can see those trees over there. I started them years ago, and you can see how that black plastic is just stretched open, and I probably don't even need it on there anymore. But I'll eventually pull it off. But it's still saving me from weed whacking the bark off the bottom, so I'm in no rush to take it off. But I don't need the cage around them anymore, because once the bark thickens up, the rabbits won't eat it. So that's it. We'll come back. What are you doing? You helping Daddy? Come on. Okay, so here's the 16 white oak trees planted. Kind of just scattered around, not really in a perfect line because then it looks kind of fake. But I'm going to come back and put some T-post and wire around them because the dogs already tried to bite them right off. So I'm going to have to cage them up so the dogs don't get them. Alright, well, it's been 2 months since we planted our oak trees. There were 16 of them, and they all started sprouting leaves except for 3. So it looks like we might have lost 3 of these things. That's the oak trees all right here from the Arbor Day, and over here is our little beech trees. But I want to show you the difference. Now, we ordered white oak trees, and take a look at these leaves here. It seems a little weird to me. I know there are different types of white oak trees, but here goes our 15-year-old white oaks that I planted, and I just want to show you the leaves on these. The leaves look a lot different on these white oaks compared to the ones that we planted. I did notice that it took a long time for these leaves to sprout out. Now, they did ship them bare root, and it may be because the shock of being shipped, but now that one's got a couple branches on it. Like I said, it's been 2 months, but you can see this one is still just trying to sprout out the leaves, and I would think they'd be a little bit better than this. Like, here's one that didn't make it at all, and here's one just starting to sprout. We're in the middle of June. Maybe next year it'll come back a lot better, but look how tiny that is. I mean, that's just starting. And this one's not too bad. I don't know if it was worth it. I mean, I think we paid like $5 a tree, and then you got free shipping if you join for $5. But it's going to be a long time before these trees get bigger, which I understand, but it might have been worth it just to spend the extra money and get a full tree already, because they're definitely not as nice as I'd like them to be, and they're going to take a lot of work to get them to nice shape. Look at this one. I mean, this one, I thought this one was dead, and it is just That's all that we got out of that one. Still trying. But they're definitely kind of shabby. They're not straight. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a couple years before we get a nice tree out of them. Like I said, it might have been better just to order some 5 or 6 foot tall already in pots and came back here and planted them, because I'm going to have to watch these trees for a while. But that's it. 2 months later.